So yeah, let's talk about this for just a second because not not like I've been ruminating on this ever since I said that last night because I was thinking about it and then I got to thinking about it some more. Like, I don't think that's certainly not the only reason they want to ban TikTok. That's not the only reason. There's a whole bunch of other reasons that they want TikTok gone from the U.S. But this is something that I think that is needing to be fleshed out just a tiny bit more than what I was talking about, which is that, yeah, I mean, it's a different type of communication if I'm just talking to you. That's way different than seeing something really sterile in text form. Unless you're like an author and you're writing some like a novel or something, and you have 50 pages to describe what the weeds look like in the cracks in New York City in the springtime. I mean, unless you have that kind of level of detail, and again, who wants to read all of that detail, right? Because they're trying to get a sense of what you're saying, not trying to get a sense of the manner in which you said it, right? Whereas here, I can just say something, and you can see the manner in which I'm saying it, right? You can hear my voice. You can see my facial expressions. You can see the micro expressions. All of these things are subconscious. They go into your subconscious. Okay, whether you want it or not, it goes in there, and it's for everybody. And we see these micro details when we talk to people in person, right? If we're again, assuming we're paying attention to them, if you're actually sitting down and you're having maybe dinner or something, and you're talking to someone and you're actually listening to what they're saying, and more importantly, they're also listening to you. So it's a two-way it's a conversation. It's not a debate, right? Debates are boring. It's why I don't watch a lot of debate and I don't get a whole lot out of it. I get invited to debate people all the time and I turn it down. Not because I don't know the subject material and not because I don't mind doing debate, but because frankly for me it's boring. Like, discussion is one thing, debate is another. Debate is just two guys trying to win an argument. I don't care about that. That's no fun. Two people trying to understand where they're coming from. Now that's a different story. That's something I'm willing to sink my teeth into. And that's true for a lot of people. And this is one of the things that I think is actually very slowly happening, little by little, with platforms like TikTok, a video platform like this. Because you have people who would, in text, right, you might completely disagree with that person. They might send out some kind of tweet or something like that, and you're like, oh my God, I hate that guy, and then you block them, right? Whereas that same person could say the exact same words to you in person in the spirit in which it's meant, and you take it completely different. It's completely different. Not only that, these mega accounts that are on these. Have you ever noticed these text accounts that are mega accounts? They can have however many people texting or sending these text type information. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It's not. It doesn't have to really be the same person. They could have a staffer doing it. They could have like 5 different people doing it, right? So in other words, it stops being just social interaction and it turns into, dare I say it, propaganda. And that's the challenge with it. And I think that's one of the challenges that they're having with one of many, but one of the challenges I think they have with TikTok is that when these types of conversations happen between like somebody who maybe even if they're just sending a text or a question or something, I can still just answer as me. I don't have to like put on a persona. I don't have to like do anything. You know what I'm saying? I can just answer the question and I can give you my opinion. If my answer is I don't know, I'm just going to say, I don't know. That's going to be it, right? And that is missing. That type of in other words, the type of what I would call like high touch communication is missing, right? It's not. It has all, at least in my case. I don't try to make my videos perfect. I know there's a whole bunch of content creators out there that make these perfect videos, and even I get sucked into them, right? Because they make their videos so perfect. Like they would have edited out what just me burping like 10 seconds ago, or they would have edited that out. I don't edit that stuff out. I leave all that stuff in because I'm just as human as anybody else, right? So yeah, I mean, like, it's cool, and there's a time and a place to edit a bunch of stuff down. I just don't do a ton of that because I'm actually not here to try and sell you a product. Okay, somebody last night on my live, they were the guy's like, "What are you selling?" I'm like, I'm not selling anything. If I'm selling you anything, I'm selling you the idea of thinking for yourself. How about that? I mean, like, just dude, think for yourself and stop being a machine. Stop just obeying orders blindly. Stop just going along with this giant corporate, giant government, mantra that, this sort of Pied Piper thing that's going on. Start thinking for yourselves a bit and start asking a lot of questions and, start being scientific. By the way, this has nothing to do with whether you're a Christian or Jew or Muslim or whatever. It doesn't make any difference. I mean, you could be any religion. You could be an atheist like me, and that's fine. An atheist, by the way, doesn't mean nihilist. So don't start mixing up. Don't start conflating the two. Okay, but you can certainly have your normal conversations with people. Like, is any of that making sense? Because that's something that I think is missing from all of the so-called social media platforms out there, except TikTok. TikTok's seems to be the one place that type of actual the social part in front of media seems to be actually part of the platform itself. Now, again, I realize TikTok is full of ads. It's full of people trying to make money and everything. Hey, and Godspeed, okay? I'm like, dude, do whatever you want to do. I'm just pointing out that what about the people who are actually just here for the social media of its in and of itself, right? The idea in and of itself, creating content and having some discussions. What about that, right? There's a lot of people doing that. And I really think that that's actually a problem, right? Because as soon as we start comparing, I mean, like, what do we know about this? My opinion. What do we know about the system? The system absolutely cannot have people who are supposed to be bitter enemies comparing notes. They absolutely cannot have that. That's toxic, right? That's like that World War I football game. Not football like modern football, what we think of as football here in the States. I'm talking about like football, right? Like soccer, okay? The soccer game, the Christmas Day soccer game that interrupted World War I, right? You can look it up, by the way. It's on Wikipedia. You can look all this stuff up. That actually happened. And where the soldiers of opposing sides interrupted a war to have a soccer game with each other. And this terrified the elites, because that's the last thing they want to have happen is people start comparing notes, right? Just like that CEO that got whacked. Whole bunch of people that actually are on the so-called right actually are, they're not part of the so-called law and order nonsense. They're like, you know what? I mean, like, dude, the guy kind of brought it on himself along with lots and lots of other people. I don't use the word deserve, and nor did I did this time. I don't say anybody deserves any of this. It can be bad, and it can also be expected. I mean, you can expect something bad like that to happen and be kind of indifferent to it. Well, yeah. And that seems to have, if you notice, like, it's blurred some of those lines. It's sort of like the island guy, the island guy that, somehow magically at his prison cell. Nobody believes that happened. Nobody believes that. Like, no one. I don't care what your politics are. Nobody believes that, right? That seems to unite a lot of people. And they start saying, yeah, hey, what was going on with that island? Who are all these people? Where is all the money going? These kinds of conversations end up inadvertently uniting a lot of people on accident. We can disagree with each other on a bunch of other stuff, but we can agree on a handful of things that we don't want. And that absolutely terrifies the elites. It absolutely does. It's my sincere hope that anybody who made it this far in the video, like statistically nobody makes it this far, like 1% make it this far in the video. But if you do happen to speak other languages, translate everything to the best of your ability that I said into another language and forward it to other people and get other people talking about this, because I do think, not that I think I'm onto something with this, but I do think there is something to it.